We can all agree that Ferrari had an absolute howler of a weekend in Spa. It wasn't just strategy errors this time, their car was simply slower than Red Bull's and no one at Ferrari seems to know why. But they can't change the past and the team now need to look ahead to Zandvoort, where we think they might be able to put up a bit more of a fight. But is it all going to be too little too late? Charles Leclerc admits it will be very difficult to stay in the championship fight after Max Verstappen extended his lead with a dominant Belgian GP victory. After starting the race in 14th, a place behind Verstappen, who had also taken a grid penalty for taking new engine parts, Leclerc was only able to finish 6th at Spa as his rival surged to victory. While he never had the pace to challenge Verstappen, Leclerc was hampered by an enforced first lap pit stop caused by a visor tear-off becoming stuck in his brake duct, before a speed sensor error caused him to speed in the pit lane and cost him more points. The pre-race chat was all about how the new technical directive that came into play in Belgium was going to affect the field. Mercedes were very hopeful that it would slow down the front two and give them a chance to catch up. In Red Bull's case, it made absolutely no difference, as Christian Horner said it would, but for Ferrari, it may have made a difference. What was evident though was that the F175 was suffering massively from tyre degradation problems. Ferrari were going through their tyres quicker than rivals Red Bull and Mercedes in Spa, which caused them some big problems. This is an indicator that maybe Ferrari struggled with their setup for the weekend and finding the balance for the car. This is normally sorted in free practice on Friday with the car full of fuel. If they did struggle to find the right balance, then it could very well be related to the new checks being done on the floors and the new anti-porpoising measurements being taken. Ferrari admitted that they had found a loophole in the test that were meant to stop teams having flexible floor planks and had to change their plank as a consequence. This may have meant that they had to raise their ride height slightly to avoid wearing their new, not flexible plank. Raising their ride height will have messed with the entire car setup, meaning they weren't able to dial in the setup to perfection as they had been doing before the summer break. Mattia denied that this made a difference to the car on the weekend, but it's hard to imagine how it wouldn't have had an effect. The effects of the technical directive are completely negligible as far as Ferrari is concerned. That is not the answer to the question why our performance was so bad. Binotto thinks Ferrari's pace deficit was exasperated at the high-speed circuit. The team will now outline their weaknesses and work on closing the gap in the next few races. I think that today, the Red Bull is simply a fast car compared to what we've got in terms of overall efficiency, because Spa is where you need efficiency from the aerodynamics and the power unit, Binotto told the media. But more than that, we had a lot of tyre degradation, which we need to look into, as they have also been stronger in terms of tyre degradation. Certainly, the gap we've seen today is not the gap we will have in the next races. I think Spa is always amplifying the gaps because it's a long track. Red Bull have had the most aerodynamically efficient car all season, meaning they can generate the most downforce whilst producing the least amount of drag. At a high-speed circuit track like Spa, it's very hard to fight back against that. But at a lower speed circuit like Zandvoort, Ferrari should have a much better chance. We have spoken on this channel before about how the complex suspension system on the F175 has helped Ferrari find wins throughout the season. In Austria at Red Bull's home race, it was vital to them managing their tyres and taking a win away from Max Verstappen. It would also have got them the win at the notoriously slow Monaco circuit if it wasn't for the Ferrari strategy errors. With the slower, tighter corners on the Dutch circuit, the F175 is able to utilize its suspension to bring some roll into the car when it corners, without reducing the volume of air passing under the car. The lateral thrust that this rolling creates pushes the outside wheel into the track, increasing the area of the tyre touching the track and therefore increasing the grip. What this can do though is reduce the work of the inside tyre, increasing the work of the outside tyre, which causes uneven tyre degradation. To help balance this, the Ferrari's front setup is optimized to stabilize the setup and help evenly distribute the forces between the front two tyres. The stiffened anti-roll bars are linked to the shock absorbers, and the third element connects the two, helping to transfer load to the inside wheel. The anti-roll and torsion bars help the team set the suspension to suit whatever speed track they're on. Together, these help support the front end better, ensuring smooth cornering, especially at lower speed tracks. The Ferrari team are optimistic that Spa was just a one-off, and think that the pace deficit they had to Red Bull was just a one-off as well. And Sergio Perez seems to agree. I think they'll be back strong in Zandvoort, he told Sky Sports F1 after the race. So this is a very unique place with a lot of straights around this place, where we are gaining a lot of lap time on them. So Zandvoort will be quite different. Even if Charles Leclerc manages to secure the win in Zandvoort, does he have a realistic chance of fighting for the World Drivers' Championship anymore? After seeing Verstappen romp home to victory from P14 on the grid, Mercedes team boss Wolff suggested that we are in a situation where the championship will be concluded in Europe probably. That is probably over the top. There are only 2 races left on the European continent this season, and if he did secure it in front of the Ferrari fans in Italy, it would equal Michael Schumacher's record of the earliest point in a season the Drivers' Championship has been won. After being kept honest by Charles Leclerc and Ferrari in the opening third of the season, Verstappen is now running riot in the championship, starving whatever was left of the 2022 title Battle of Oxygen and instead placing it on life support. With just 216 points still on offer across the final 8 races, which includes one more sprint in Brazil, Verstappen now holds a 93-point lead on nearest competitor Sergio Perez and 98 on Leclerc, making a repeat of 2021's final race title showdown extremely implausible. All Verstappen needs is 4 wins from the remaining 8 races to seal the deal. Technically, Verstappen can't win the title until Singapore, with 5 races remaining, but to do so, he needs to win the next 3 races in Zandvoort, Monza, and Singapore, with both Perez and Leclerc not scoring a single point. That is definitely not going to happen. It seems much more likely that Suzuka in Japan will be the place where Verstappen wins his second World Championship title. To stop that happening, Leclerc would have to leave Japan with less than a 112-point deficit to Verstappen, and then score maximum points in the remaining races to take the title. Oh, and Verstappen would have to score no points in the remaining 4 races. Back in Australia, at the start of April, this seemed like Ferrari's championship to lose. We aren't sure which is more impressive, Red Bull's dominance since then, or Ferrari's ability to throw it away. Despite Verstappen's near insurmountable lead, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner won't be drawn into complacency. I think as far as championship tables look, they obviously look really healthy, Horner said on Sunday night after the Belgian Grand Prix. But things can change very, very quickly. We saw that. I think we were 46 points behind when we left Australia, and within a couple of races had managed to turn that around. Our prerogative is on each race, one at a time, and the championship tables will take care of themselves. So we just want to keep this momentum rolling forward. Max's dominance in the championship was on full show in Spa and was very reminiscent of Lewis Hamilton's championship wings alongside Valtteri Bottas. It is unquestionable that the Mercedes car was the best in Formula 1 for the 8 years they won the Constructors' title. But despite that, Lewis still completely outstripped his teammate. The exact same thing has been happening to Perez this season. Perez was unable to keep pace with his teammate and did admit that Verstappen was far, far faster than he could be around the Belgian circuit. I think Max today was on another level, the 32-year-old said, especially that first stint. For me, it was quite bad on the medium in terms of deg. Max was a lot faster in that regard. Ferrari will have the chance to secure some more race wins this season, and the upcoming Dutch GP would be a great place to do it if they wanted to bring some rain to Max's parade. Unfortunately for them though, anything they can scrape back now is going to be too little, too late. Want to know more about what's happening in Formula 1? Then click the video showing on your screen and we will see you there.